Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Seriously, where we take franchises. I'm just enjoying a little success today because, as you can see, Seriously has already become quite influential.
You see, the day I put out my review of From Russia with Love, Warner Brothers decided they felt threatened enough by my presence that they needed to remind people of their own spy flick coming out this fall, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
And it's clear this was put online as a message for me to watch myself. How do I know? Let's take a look at the facts.
From Russia with Love was released in 1963, and we can reasonably assume that that's when the movie took place. And in the trailer for The Man from U.N.C.L.E., it's made clear right from the get-go that this film also takes place in 1963.
Now, my plan for this episode is to talk about Goldfinger, the next entry in the Bond franchise, which premiered at the Odeon Leicester Square on September 17, 1964, and then opened to general audiences the day after. As it turns out, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. premiered on television only 4 days after that first premiere. So, if we're going to talk about Spy-Fi in 1964, it seems inevitable that we'd have to talk about The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Spy fiction was a genre growing in popularity as the Cold War approached its first tipping point. Ian Fleming wasn't the only one writing about espionage and near warfare, but after a decade of Bond novels, it was clear he was a pioneer in the field. When Saltzman and Broccoli acquired the rights to make Bond films, the first 2 entries in the franchise made bigger waves, bringing spy fiction even further into the public eye. As a result, everyone in the 60s wanted their hands on good spy material. Enter Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios. You know, these guys. The guys at MGM wanted to put a spy show on NBC as a weekly series, so who better to turn to than the man himself, Ian Fleming. Fleming helped come up with some concepts for the show, including the main character, American spy Napoleon Solo. The show would feature Solo and his associate, the Georgian spy Ilya Kuryakin, as members of a secret organization called a UNCLE, or UNCLE, doing battle with the evil secret organization, Thrush. Instead of focusing on Solo or Kuryakin as a super spy in the vein of Bond, they instead were a bit more vulnerable and frequently required the assistance of what the showrunners referred to as the innocent, someone who had nothing to do with the life of espionage but was close enough to the action to be invaluable to the success of the operation. A pilot was shot at the end of 1963, shortly after the release of From Russia with Love, under the title Ian Fleming Solo, and later just Solo. This didn't sit well with Saltzman and Broccoli, who demanded that MGM not use Ian Fleming's name in association with the series, nor use the name Solo, as production was already underway for Goldfinger, which included a man by the name of Solo. Fleming signed an affidavit stating that nothing in the pilot for Solo infringed on the Bond franchise, but MGM eventually caved under the pressure and the show was renamed The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Probably a smart move, since the show would run for 4 seasons, only finding itself canceled in 1968 as a result of sudden changes in direction. A made-for-TV movie was released in 1983, but I'm sure there was nothing questionable at all about that. And with Guy Ritchie's take on the franchise coming this August, I get the feeling we'll be talking about it again real soon.
But enough about that. You guys came here for a Bond review. So, without further ado, this is Goldfinger. In 1963, an awful lot was going on. From Russia with Love was released, and it did well enough that not only were Saltzman and Broccoli working on a 3rd film, but it also started to inspire competition from other entities like The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Word on the street is that Saltzman and Broccoli wanted to produce Thunderball as their 3rd film, but due to an incredibly complicated set of circumstances, which we'll get into next time, that wasn't really an option.
So they moved on to a film about robbing Fort Knox. Let's see how they did.
I'm really starting to enjoy these movies starting like this. It's weirdly comforting. Even your silly jump, Stunt Bond. Don't ever change, at least for 5 more years. Although I have to admit, it is a bit of a letdown that the gunshot peters out so quickly. So we open on, I don't know, I can't see. It's kind of dark.
Wait, hang on a second. Is that just the Abandoned Jamaica set?
Hello? Hello? Where is everyone? Okay, I mean, at least we got a seagull. Oh my god. Oh, wow, there sure is a lot of dignity in this role. Oh. That said, this movie really doesn't waste any time getting spy-y. Hell, the intro to Metal Gear Solid feels outright stolen watching this.
Ooh, actually, wait, hang on, take that one back. I got a better one.
I'm Batman.
Much better.
Turns out this is an unspecified Latin American country, and Bond's here to destroy a drug lab. So he does it by...
emptying the one condom he keeps using?
My God, see a doctor, Jim. Ugh. So Bond sets his standard issue cartoon time bomb. Oh, God damn it. And hits the lights so no one suspects a thing. You know, because the ticking won't tip anyone off. But Bond doesn't care about that. It's time to party. Man, this Chipotle is the bomb. Whoops. Spoke too soon. By the way, guys, what was the point of that?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez and his friends will be out of business.
At least they won't be using heroin-flavored bananas to finance revolutions.
Ben & Jerry's, why?
His contact has him on a flight to Miami in an hour, but first...
First, I have some unfinished business to attend to.
Yeah, you do. Get in there. Hey, don't throw the towel in the water. Rude. Then again, maybe he doesn't care because he's already figured out she's in on the plot to take him out. Damn! Wow, Bond just does not give a fuck. Now, I'm not going to pretend this fight holds a candle to the fight against Grant in the last movie, but it's not bad either. It feels pretty raw, which helps it out a lot, at least if we ignore that Bond seems to have lost a bit of his Street Fighter skills since Zagreb. I mean, the hell's he trying to do, take off the guy's shoes? Anyway, Bond gets him right where he wants him, but the assassin gets his hands on a gun. What's Bond to do? Ah, looks like you're only my number 2 fan.
Shocking.
Wow, that was actually worse than my idea. Oh, also.
Positively shocking.
That one doesn't even make sense! Oh, well, I guess that was Goldfinger. Short movie. I guess the Goldfingers were the heroin bananas? Weird, it seems like a bit of a stretch. Yeah! God damn, don't scare me like that. Shit, alright, let's take it back and do this right, I guess. This guy looks like a constipated Jodan Baker. I gotta be honest, the opening credits are nice and all, but they feel a little underwhelming compared to last time. Oh, hang on, I have an idea.
The man with the Midas touch.
Much better.
A spider's touch.
I just want to jump back for a second here to point out that the continuity girl is named Constance. I find that kind of fucking awesome.
He loves only gold.
Oh my god, we get it. He loves gold. God damn. By the way, have I mentioned that ass is on fire? Can we just get another incontinent Jodan Baker shot? Perfect. Let's just start the movie, please. Welcome to Miami. We're ashamed of all our sports teams except the Heat. You know, I don't talk about the music of these scenes much, but judging by the swanky music, I get the feeling Guy Hamilton really wants us to be aroused here. At least Bond's getting some rest after his last mission.
Hey, wait a second. What was the point of that mission anyway?
Hey, Hat Guy, give us your dorkiest voice.
I thought I'd find you in good hands.
Excellent.
Felix! Felix, how are you?
Felix, you look... old.
Dink, meet Felix Leiter.
Hello.
Felix, say hello to Dink.
Hi, Dink.
Dink, say goodbye to Felix. Man talk.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad Sarah's not here for this one. Hey, wait, where is she anyway? Oh, come on, at least make her look gold.
Good enough. Anyway, this is Cease Linder playing this film's version of Felix Leiter. Get used to this sort of thing happening. They change out actors nearly every time Felix appears. They're usually pretty good at it, too.
Until they go wrong.
You see, like all the great second bananas, original actor Jack Lord started making demands in order to return for the role. A bigger paycheck, higher billing, and a larger presence in the plot. So they hired someone else.
Didn't expect to see you here.
Look, it's me. I'm here to deal with it. Let's move on.
It's kind of refreshing to see some of the ways Hollywood hasn't changed in 50 years.
They actually hired this guy, Austin Willis, who honestly looks the part of Felix Leiter. Meanwhile, Cease here should be playing cards with, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The two men switched roles at the last second for no reason at all besides the fact they were both Canadian, and Linder got himself some time as Leiter.
It's kind of refreshing to see some of the ways Hollywood has changed after 50 years.
Auric Goldfinger. Sounds like a French nail varnish.
Or like they really wanted to name a guy Goldfinger. What's his middle name? Goldberg? Oh my god, he's even wearing gold shoes.
Ready for a little game?
Sure, I'm ready. When you're 10 grand in the hole, you're ready for anything.
Could I have my usual seat?
You and your suntan.
Yes, I must get beautiful golden tan. So Bond listens in on Goldfinger's game of gin rummy, then sneaks off to mess with his day.
That's Mr. Goldfinger's suite.
Yes, I know.
How did that work? I'm guessing she's not going to bother telling anyone some rando just got into the room of their richest guest either, right? So he takes a look inside, but it doesn't take long to discover.
He's holding on to the 6 of spades, so I guess he thinks you want it. That last draw was the 8 of hearts.
You cheater! How dare you!
Actually, hang on a second. His friend here says he's 10 grand in the hole. If you were 10,000 down in card games to a guy and you seem to lose every single hand you played, wouldn't you start to get suspicious? Either way, it's time for Bond to put an end to it and hold it. Squelch. Is that the sound Bond's cock tube makes?
Oh.
Anyway, Bond starts screwing with Goldfinger, and just the immediate level of panic on his face says it all, really. Oh, and he wastes no time hitting on the woman helping him out, too.
Jill.
Jill who?
Jill Masterson.
Tell me, Jill. Why does he do it?
He likes to win.
Why do you do it?
He pays me.
Is that all he pays you for?
And for being seen with him.
Just seen?
Just seen.
I'm so glad.
Are you implying that if she was sleeping with him, you wouldn't try to fuck her? Because honestly, I don't see you giving a shit either way.
Now hear this, Goldfinger. Your luck has just changed. Now start losing, Goldfinger. Shall we say, $10,000? No, let's be generous. Let's make it 15,000.
Hey, Bond, maybe don't taunt the obvious villain of the film, yeah?
Well, I can see this is really my day. Gin.
Don't make me hungry. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. Let's just move on. Can we close this scene with the slowest, most awkward kiss Bond can muster? Fantastic.
At the White House this afternoon, the president said he was entirely satisfied.
Looks like he's not the only one.
That makes 2 of us.
God damn it, Bond, stop stealing my jokes. He gets a quick call from Felix, but decides to grab breakfast with him the following morning so he can have a, night in.
Yes, 9 o'clock.
You know, you remind me of my Russian mistress. Bond realizes the wine isn't properly chilled and declares,
My dear girl, there are some things that just aren't done. Such as drinking Dom Perignon 53 above a temperature of 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's as bad as listening to the Beatles without earmuffs.
which is actually amazing for 2 reasons. First off, that's a temperature that would destroy the taste of a vintage champagne.
Turns out he's a whopping 20 degrees south of the proper temperature for that kind of champagne. And I say this knowing everything there is to know about champagne, and definitely not looking it up right before this.
And second, Margaret Nolan, the woman giving you a massage, humorously named Dink, and Richard Vernon, who we'll be meeting shortly, were both in A Hard Day's Night a mere 2 months before this movie came out.
Now the assumption here is that Bond is appealing to his older audience by slamming the Beatles back when they were only really appreciated by teenagers, but come on man, really? The Beatles? We all know who won that debate.
But it looks like somebody's a Beatles fan as Bond finds himself subject to another really awkward stage hit.
Fun fact, Sean Connery actually got injured shooting that scene. Yeah, no kidding. It actually ended a pay dispute between him and Eon Productions that ended with him getting a 5% cut of the gross for every film he starred in from then on out.
Thank you, Alfred Hitchcock. Eventually, Bond comes to. Sensing something's wrong, he heads back to the bedroom to discover... My God! She's covered in French nail varnish! Oh boy, that's not good. Apparently she's been drowned in gold.
The girl's dead.
Think?
Masterson, Jill Masterson. And she's covered in paint.
Oh. Huh. Well, I guess Quantum of Solace kind of spoiled me. Meanwhile, on the set of V for Vendetta, Bond briefs M on the situation.
Gold. All over.
She died of skin suffocation. It's been known to happen to cabaret dancers.
Pause. Okay, I hate to have to keep killing the film every couple minutes, but this is sort of important. Skin suffocation is not a real thing. It was an invention of Ian Fleming's for the book, and somewhere between the production of the book and the production of the movie, people started to believe it, including cabaret dancers, incidentally. Bond, could you tell people at home what people in the 60s thought would save them from skin suffocation?
It's all right, so long as you leave a small bare patch at the base of the spine to allow the skin to breathe.
The belief was so strong that when it came time to shoot Jill Masterson's death scene, they actually left a bare patch of skin on her abdomen so her skin could breathe. Now, there are indeed some actual risks about covering your body with paint. Doing so can actually lead to overheating, heat stroke, or possibly even death as a result of the prior two. But skin suffocation is still not a real thing. Your lungs breathe, your skin doesn't. Fucking obviously.
By the way, Goldfinger wasn't even the first film to show someone dying from being covered in gold. That honor actually goes to the 1946 Boris Karloff movie, Bedlam. The more you know.
Somewhere I heard that the human body must breathe through its pores. If you shut those pores...
Lord, what of it?
Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, M's about to deliver some hard truth to Bond.
This isn't a personal vendetta, 007. It's an assignment like any other. But if you can't treat it as such coldly and objectively, the 008 can replace you.
So, first off, hello first mention of other 00 agents. Second, why is this any bigger of a deal to Bond than, say, the last movie? He only knew Jill Masterson for an afternoon, and M's all, hey man, if this is getting too real, you can tap out and spend a day in the comfort room.
What do you know about gold? Not paint bullion.
That's a bit broad, but I guess you could say...
I know it when I see it.
Meet me here at 7. Black tie.
How else could that conversation have gone? What do you know about gold? Nothing at all. More of a silver fan myself. All right, see you tomorrow. Ah, the Moneypenny scene. I'll never get tired of these.
You come around for dinner.
Even Bond looks impressed. Amazing.
Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure, but unfortunately I do have a business appointment.
That's the flimsiest excuse you've ever given me. Ah, well, some girls have all the luck. Who is she, James?
She is me, Miss Moneypenny.
All right, since I guess we're all admitting things today.
I am Spartacus.
So it turns out that M's mandate is actually it's actually a meeting with hey, is the camera guy nervous or something? Where are we going?
Pass the salt.
Anyway, this is where we get our briefing for this movie's mission. Auric Goldfinger has amassed a fortune of over £20 million, primarily as a seller of gold and jewelry. Bond is being sent to find out how it's being done, as the British government suspects foul play. There's only one problem.
Has he?
Apart from being a legitimate bullion dealer, Mr. Goldfinger poses... no, that's not quite fair. Is, among his many other interests, a legitimate international jeweler. He's legally entitled to operate...
Wait, so they're not actually sure if anything illegal is even happening? They're sending an ultra-super spy on a mission to discover if something illegal is going on. Seems like kind of a big resource mismanagement, if you ask me.
And England is arming Bond with the finest bait, Nazi gold. No joke. Check this out.
This is the only one we have from the Nazi hoard at the bottom of Lake Toplitz in the Salzkammergut. But there are undoubtedly others. Mr. Bond can make whatever use of it he thinks fit. Providing he returns it, of course. It's worth £5,000.
How can he return it if he uses it in any way he sees fit? Why does it even matter if you're going after a guy worth 4,000 times that much?
We're not getting an explanation for that, are we?
Actually, this is Q Branch, where a wealth of crazy spy gadgets are born. Like the world's weakest bullets!
It's not perfected yet.
Yeah, no shit. But instead of getting a gadgety briefcase, this time Bond gets a gadgety car.
You'll be using this Aston Martin DB5 with modifications.
The gadgety car.
Now, pay attention, please. Windscreen bulletproof, as are the side and the rear windows. Revolving number plates, naturally. Here's a nice little transmitting device. You prime it by pressing that back like this. The smaller model is now standard field issue. to be fitted into the heel of your shoe. Its larger brother is magnetic. Audio-visual, range 150 miles. And incidentally, we'd appreciate its return, along with all your other equipment. Intact for once when you return from the field.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to use the fucking tear gas?
Field. Anything else?
So Q shows off an extra set of bonus controls.
Now open the top and inside are your defense mechanism controls. Smoke screen, oil slick, rear bulletproof screen, and left and right front wing machine guns.
And then tops us off with this.
You see the gear lever here? Now if you take the top off, you'll find a little red button. Whatever you do, don't touch it. Because you'll release this section of the roof and engage and fire the passenger ejector seat. Whoosh.
Ejector seat? You're joking.
I never joke about my work, 007.
Oh my god, fine Q, relax. Let's just transition over to some Golden Tea, where Bond and Goldfinger finally get to meet face to face. Bond is pretty amused, but Goldfinger is perturbed by the fact that he has to let rip a really nasty fart right now, like right now. Worst timing ever, right? Oh my god, so embarrassing.
I'll take some teas. Yes,
What a well-dressed Korean Hummel.
Oh, you must excuse our job, Mr. Bond.
Honestly, all I'm hearing right now is...
Golf is not yet the national game of Korea, eh?
You coming, Oddjob? There you go. Anyway, Goldfinger makes it pretty clear right away that he knows Bond isn't here by accident.
You didn't come here to play golf.
Whoops, clumsy me. What, is the Nazi gold magnetic too?
No. And it's going to be in the final, so you better be taking notes.
2 holes to go.
Whoops, did I say right away? I meant 2 hours in.
Then you have no objection to increasing the stakes?
No. What do you have in mind?
The bar of gold you have with you, naturally.
It's worth 5,000 pounds.
Oh, I'll stake the cash equivalent.
Naturally.
Boy, what a convenient way to use that Nazi gold any way he sees fit while still being able to return it. What are you guys looking for the plot too? Yeah, I can't find it either. Goldfinger has a nasty hook that sends him deep into the rough, but he makes sure Oddjob has his balls firmly in his grasp. Is right, you cheater. How dare you?
If that's his original ball, I'm Arnold Palmer.
But you know what? It's fine. Really, it's fine. Because Bond is going to fuck with him even harder than in the gin rummy game. For starters, he's standing on Goldfinger's ball, which actually doesn't seem to be a terrible place to shoot from in the first place, now that I think about it. He lets Goldfinger sink a putt on the 17th, switches the balls, and waits for his moment to strike, right at the end.
Yeah. You win, Goldfinger.
It seems I'm too good for you.
You play a Schlesinger 1, don't you?
Yes, why?
This is a Schlesinger 7. Here's my penfold hearts. You must have played the wrong ball somewhere on the 18th fairway. We are playing strict rules, so I'm afraid you lose the hole and the match.
Bond needs to follow Goldfinger, so let's watch him set himself up as smoothly as possible. And Oddjob doesn't suspect a thing for some reason. Even Oddjob has to take his hat off. That was some amazing spy work there. Hat off! Hat off! Not head! Jesus!
That's Harold Sakata playing Oddjob, by the way. He's a Japanese Hawaiian, not a Korean, and this is his first acting gig. In fact, before that, he was a professional wrestler in the Canadian circuit and a silver medalist at the 1948 Olympic Games in weightlifting. That's pretty cool. He's also 5'10", which is my height, and yet somehow he looks really teeny tiny on camera. I don't get it.
But anyway, back to the movie. Goldfinger, cheating bastard as he is still a man of his word and cuts Bond a check for $5,000. Bond could just leave it at that, but sure, let's taunt the guy with the razor hat.
Oh, I believe this is yours.
Did I mention he was really strong?
So Bond follows Goldfinger to Geneva, where he shows us just how sharp he is.
Oh my god. Goldfinger's like the Mitchell of Bond villains. In fact...
Mitchell, honey, we're home. Put your shoes on.
Hey, you're interrupting MST3K, not cool. I'll show her where to stick that horn. Actually, she's speeding off ahead so that when Goldfinger takes a weird pit stop, she can get a clear shot at him with her sniper rifle. Dive, dive, dive! So, like a gentleman, Bond annihilates her tires, and they engage in the politest pretense possible?
Are you all right? Here, let me help you. You know you're lucky to be alive.
No thanks to you. You should have pulled over further.
Bond offers her a ride, and they get a chance to introduce themselves.
What's your name, by the way?
Soames. Tilly Soames.
Here for the hunting season. I had a case just like that one.
It's for my ice skates.
Lovely sport.
I just love that face. It's magical. It just screams, yeah, bullshit, lady. So after some more enlightening conversation, Bond drops Tilly off at a gas station and finally arrives at, oh, this is where they make the Star Treks! Well, Bond better get a move on before someone sees him. Oh, that must be the bear patch so the grass can breathe. So Bond waits all night to spy on a Taekwondo class full of gold belts and happens upon Goldfinger's weirdest trait, totally needless exposition.
The bodywork of my Rolls Royce is 18-karat gold.
Okay, time for 3 problems in a row.
1. Gold isn't magnetic.
Told you it was coming back.
It's also very malleable. Now, granted, some viewers have suggested that the car body is only partially made out of gold, with the support structure still made out of steel, which is magnetic. 2. That car would be heavy as shit. Gold is almost triple the weight of steel, so his Rolls runs the risk of breaking the crane lifting it into the plane that took it to Geneva in the first place.
And 3, who's he telling this to anyway?
Use the gold in this special furnace to keep it, which in turn will be dispelled.
Doctor.
$1 million, Mr. Bond.
Apparently, that guy's named Mr. Ning. But, yeah, I don't buy it either.
It would be wiser to suspend your other activities.
Now, Mr. Ling, please assure your principals Operation Grand Slam will have my undivided attention.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't be important later. Bond happens upon a shadowy figure with a rifle stalking around outside the compound. Frenchie meeting you here. Oh, shit, hang on, that's actually bad.
Let me go! You're breaking my back!
Oh, hey, it's Tilly again.
What are you doing here?
I want to kill him!
Kill who?
Goldfinger!
Well, I want him alive.
I want him dead. He killed my sister.
Goldie was my sister. My twin sister.
I guess she was the nice one. If you wanted to kill him, why did you shoot at me?
I didn't. I was shooting at him.
Bond?
Well, you're a lousy shot.
Thank you.
All that noise in Zone 10 attracts the attention of more karate students, and a chase through the woods ensues. Excuse me, darling, I've got gas. But when one car makes it out of the smoke, he kicks things up a notch with a little oil.
Sorry, no, that looks nothing like oil. Period.
Regardless of what it looks like, at least it seems to be working. The bad guys slide off the road and whoa! Holy hell, why do they keep filling their cars with nitroglycerin? But after Bond takes a wrong turn, it looks like his luck has finally run out. He covers Tilly while she makes a run for it, but Random Task isn't having none of that. Ooh, so close, Oddjob. But you see, her neck isn't made out of stone. She is impervious to your... Oh, fuck, she really is dead, isn't she? Shit. So Oddjob sets up a cavalcade to escort Bond back to the base. But he gets the upper hand on the goon in his car. Go, Red Button, go!
Wow, I've seen better airtime on YouTube.
Bond makes his getaway attempt, but not before coming face to face with...
Okay, no, this woman is not evil. I don't even care that she's got a gun pointed at Bond. All she makes me want to do is click on cookies.
One Scooby-Doo car chase later, Bond finds himself playing a game of chicken with the enemy. The machine guns don't seem to help, so what's a spy to do? Ooh, Q is not going to be happy about that. Wait, is this...
Good evening, 007.
It's This scene! Yeah! Oh, I can't wait. Hey, wait a second. Computer, how far into the movie are we? We're not even halfway through and Bond's already captured? That can't be right. This is the iconic Bond trap. How the hell is he going to get out of this?
You are looking at an industrial laser, which emits an extraordinary light not to be found in nature.
Now, as tropey as death lasers are these days, it's worth pointing out that the industrial laser was first invented in 1960, meaning the technology was only 4 years old at the time this movie was made. It's also fucking awesome, so back off.
This is gold, Mr. Bond.
Goldfinger, rightfully, has had enough of Bond's bullshit and sets up what I genuinely expect will be the only truly inescapable trap of this entire franchise.
The purpose of our two previous encounters is now very clear to me. I do not intend to be distracted by another. Good night, Mr. Bond.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. There is nothing you can talk to me about that I don't already know.
I gotta be honest, hearing that line in context for the first time is pretty fucking awesome. And Goldfinger went from being a total bitch to King Koopa in one scene. It's pretty damn cool.
Looks like Bond's gonna have to think real fast to get out of this one. And the pitch?
You're forgetting one thing. If I fail to report, 008 replaces me.
I trust he will be more successful.
Swing and a miss. Got anything else?
Well, he knows what I know.
You know nothing, Mr. Bond.
2 strikes, Bond. Last chance.
Operation Grand Slam, for instance.
You gotta be kidding me. You literally don't know a single thing about Operation Grand Slam.
2 words you may have overheard, which cannot possibly have any significance to you or anyone in your organization.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Can you afford to take that chance?
Yeah? Probably yes, right? Or not, I guess.
You are quite right, Mr. Bond. You are worth more to me alive.
Psych! Bond finally comes to on a plane with the third blonde of the movie. Introduction time. Take it away, Bond.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
Nothing I could ever say here would ever do that line justice. Except...
As the movie was being put together, the producers were debating changing the character's name to Kitty Galore, but eventually relented, stating, and I quote, "If you were a 10-year-old boy and knew what the name meant, you weren't a 10-year-old boy, you were a dirty little bitch."
That is the best thing I've ever heard. Oh, and then they took the American censor out to dinner and told him that they were huge supporters of the Republican Party. And it worked.
Not to be outdone, Honor Blackman, the actress playing Pussy Galore, took a special delight in naming her character in full in every single interview she got.
Honestly, after the last 5 minutes of film they gave us, they could spend the next hour farting in each other's mouths. And I'd let it slide.
Oh, and apparently Bond was originally supposed to reply with, "I'm sure you are, but what's your name?" Instead, we got...
I must be dreaming.
If you were dreaming, Bond, it'd be literal. Hey, Miss Galore, who are you here anyway?
I'm Mr. Goldfinger's personal pilot.
You are? And just how personal is that?
I'm a damn good pilot. Period.
Well, that's good news.
Since when do you give a fuck who else the woman sleeps with? So, while Bond enjoys a drink that is definitely safe this time, seriously, guys, he decides to bring a wild guest back out of retirement.
Yes, to Operation Grand Slam.
Yeah, it'll definitely work this time, dumbass. My God, figure something out about it before you say it again, please.
This should be a memorable flight.
You can turn off the charm. I'm immune.
I can't imagine why a woman named Pussy might be used to getting hit on.
We'll be landing in 20 minutes. Do you want to play it easy or the hard way? And this isn't a tranquilizer.
Now, Pussy, you know a lot more about planes than guns. That's a Smith & Wesson 45.
Bond, we've already made it pretty fucking clear you don't know shit about identifying guns.
If you fired at this close range, the bullet will pass through me and the fuselage like a blowtorch through butter. The cabin will depressurize and we'll both be sucked into outer space together.
And apparently you don't know shit about outer space either. And now for something completely different. It's...
Pussy Galore's Flying Circus. Seriously, that would never be a sign. Not in a million years someone get me that sign. Hey look, the team even offers frills and spills, also known as not thrills and death.
Manners, odd job. I thought you always took your hat off to a lady.
Oh, finally, a good one-liner. Welcome home, Bond. Meanwhile, Goldfinger meets up with all his leftover mobster stereotypes.
Why weren't we told that New York and the West Coast were in on this?
Look who's talking. I do not do business with Chicago.
I thought we had a private business deal to settle. Now I find I'm attending a Hoods convention.
And you owe me $1 million.
$1 million, Mr. Bond.
Goldfinger makes them one hell of an offer. $1 million today or $10 million tomorrow when his bank opens. The bank?
The gold depository at Fort Knox, gentlemen.
Holy shit. Goldfinger really went all out with his lair setup. Not only a 20-foot map of the place, but a scale model too. Isn't that sort of redundant? And hey, wait a second, how did Bond get here? So the guard comes to investigate, Bond gets the drop on him, and he sneaks under the model to listen in. Anyway, one of the gangsters wants out.
I'll take my money now.
What's the matter, Solo? Too big for you to handle?
Oh, so that's Ian Fleming's Solo. I mean, the man from U.N.C.L.E. Whatever.
Goldfinger has Oddjob take out the trash and then have it compacted. Man, they really don't like Solo. Huh, surprisingly little blood. Wait, he's killing the guys who wanted to go along with it too? Then what the hell was the point of him telling them his plan? Apparently, it was just so Bond could figure out what Goldfinger was up to and point out a few rather obvious hiccups.
$15 billion in gold bullion weighs 10,500 tons. 60 men would take 12 days to load it onto 200 trucks. Now, at the most, you're going to have 2 hours before the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines move in and make you put it back.
Who mentioned anything about removing it?
What?
That's right. Goldfinger isn't planning on stealing the gold. He's planning on ruining it, setting off a dirty bomb that would render the gold radioactive and thus unusable for 58 years. This is actually the screenwriter covering for a major plot hole from the original book in which Goldfinger actually was trying to steal the gold from Fort Knox.
Wait, so if he wasn't even planning on stealing it in the first place, what the fuck was the point of showing all those guys the plan? Was it just to show off how many tiny Fort Knoxes he had?
Actually, yeah, probably. That scene's mystified people for decades, but the late great Roger Ebert points out in his 1999 review of Goldfinger that the big bad might have originally planned to steal the gold after all, like in the book, but when he decided to irradiate it instead, he didn't want all the shiny maps and models to go to waste.
I apologize, Goldfinger. It's an inspired deal. They get what they want, economic chaos in the West, and the value of your gold increases many times.
I conservatively estimate 10 times.
Brilliant.
So Pussy Galore's team sets the Delta 9 gas into action where, ashes to ashes, they all fall down. God damn, that shit acts fast. Nice stage falls, guys. Very convincing. The graduating class of Jackie Chan's School of Subtlety blasts the gate and... oh hey, they found a use for the laser. Nice. Man, this whole plan seems to be going pretty much perfectly. Everyone around is dead, Bond is captured, and they got the vault open. What could go wrong?
Bomb's here. Let's get moving, Brigadier.
Whoa, shit! The military was faking dead the whole time? That's friggin' awesome. Goldfinger is fucked. And fucked quick, too. Goldfinger locks up the vault with Bond, Oddjob, and his other henchman, who doesn't deserve a name, still inside, but what about the army outside?
Oh boy. Goldfinger, you are almost certainly America's #1 most wanted right now. Do you really think they're not going to recognize your face?
Whoa, hold on. Is that a golden gun? It is way too early for that. Besides, that gun belongs to...
oh, please. Do you really think I'm going to make a joke at Sir Christopher Lee's expense? Have some respect. Maybe in like 6 weeks.
So what's your game plan now, Goldfinger? Oh, God, he killed Dr. No! Looks like there's a disagreement among the henchmen over how to deal with being trapped with the bomb. Whoop, disagreement over. but he falls near enough to Bond for him to grab the key to his handcuffs. Can Oddjob land the hat trick? Ooh, so close. And that's why a razor hat is the stupidest fucking weapon ever.
Dude, what happened to your aim?
You hit Tilly from 1.5 miles away and you can't get Bond from sneezing distance?
Oh, shit.
In fact, the only thing that seems to faze Oddjob at all is when Bond gets a hold of his hat.
You don't even get a score for that whiff. Man, there's a lot of people throwing hats in this movie.
But Bond's quick on his feet, and when Oddjob goes to reach for his hat... What, no one-liner? Here, allow me.
Shocking.
Fun fact, Sakata actually burned his hand in this shot, but held on until Guy Hamilton yelled cut. World's greatest actor right there. But Bond's running out of time. The dirty bomb's about to blow. What's he gonna do? Best misdirect ever. What do you have to say for yourself, Bond?
What kept you?
Hey, fuck yourself, Jim. Well, it's time to wrap things up.
Did you get him?
Not yet, but he won't get far.
And Pussy?
She helped to switch the gas in the canisters. By the way, what made her call Washington?
Oh, this is a pretty good time to talk about this, I think.
I must have appealed to her maternal instincts.
This is how Bond very casually refers to more or less raping Pussy Galore in Goldfinger's barn. I am not fucking joking.
What's worse, it's implied that this is the one thing that Bond actually did right over the course of this entire movie. I mean, let's think about this for a second. He taunts the bad guy and fucks with him in a game of skill. Twice. Then he gets in the way of Tilly's assassination attempt. Twice. Then he gets caught and tries to pretend he knows about Operation Grand Slam. Twice. Last but not least, he sticks his homing device in Mr. Solo's pocket with a note to the CIA, which, as we all remember, never made it to the CIA. Then he uses the only weapon he has left, and apparently, that's what does it.
Some people suggest that his repeated insistence both before and after the fact that Goldfinger was planning on murdering thousands and stealing nothing did her in, but seriously.
And did he just say maternal instinct?
I must have appealed to her maternal instincts.
You know what? Let's move on. I'm a little too disgusted by this entire plot line. Bond's gotten an invite to have lunch with the president, but oh shit, I totally forgot about Goldfinger. Unfortunately, he doesn't take Bond's lecture on Smith & Wesson seriously, and soon finds himself in But Bond and Pussy can't write the plane, and... yeah, let's transition away from that real quick. Oh, yeah, and they survive.
Oh, no, you don't. This is no time to be rescued.
And then it just ends. That was pretty fucking abrupt.
And that was Goldfinger. Fans and non-fans alike seem to agree that this is the Bond film to make all Bond films, against which every other one measures itself. And yeah, it totally fucking is.
So much about this movie fits into place perfectly, and it's never in a rush to force it on the audience. The plot takes a little while to unfold, but it's done in a careful, deliberate way. You're not meant to know what the bad guy is really doing or thinking. You're in this with Bond the whole way. You laugh when he fucks with Goldfinger's card in golf games, then shit a city block when his pleas are deflected and you find out what Goldfinger's real plan is. The characters actually pop in this one too. No more bland Dr. Nose, no more wondering when the bad guy's gonna show up. Goldfinger is out front and in your face from the very beginning, and his right-hand man is instantly identifiable even 50 years later.
This movie has been parodied so many times that even just to make a list of the references that get made to Goldfinger would take longer than the rest of this review combined. This is, honest to God, I know I'm gonna sound like a sellout here, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. What do you have to say for yourself, Bond?
I must be dreaming.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, see you guys next time.
Goldfinger! He's the man with the Midas touch. A spider's touch. such a cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin. But don't go in. He loves only gold. Only gold. He loves gold. He loves only gold. Only gold. He loves
Nice hold on the gold there.